When I was a kid, the disaster we worried about most was a nuclear war. That's why we had a barrel like this down in our basement, filled with cans of food and water. When the nuclear attack came, we were supposed to go downstairs, hunker down, and eat out of that barrel.
Ketika saya masih anak-anak, bencana yang paling kami takuti adalah perang nuklir. Itulah mengapa kami memiliki drum seperti ini di ruang bawah tanah, berisi berkaleng-kaleng makanan dan minuman. Ketika serangan nuklir datang, kami turun berlindung dan makan dari drum tersebut.
Today, the greatest risk of global catastrophe doesn't look like this. Instead, it looks like this. If anything kills over 10 million people in the next few decades, it's most likely to be a highly infectious virus rather than a war. Not missiles, but microbes. Now, part of the reason for this is that we have invested a huge amount in nuclear deterrence, but we've actually invested very little in a system to stop an epidemic.
Pada saat ini, risiko terbesar dari kekacauan global tidak seperti ini, melainkan seperti ini. Jika ada sesuatu yang bisa membunuh 10 juta orang dalam beberapa dekade ke depan, itu mungkin adalah sebuah virus yang sangat berbahaya ketimbang perang. Bukan misil, tapi mikroba. Sekarang alasannya adalah kita telah berinvestasi banyak untuk penjagaan nuklir, namun sangat minim untuk penanganan epidemi.
We're not ready for the next epidemic. Let's look at Ebola. I'm sure all of you read about it in the newspaper. Lots of tough challenges. I followed it carefully through the case analysis tools we use to track polio eradication. And as you look at what went on, the problem wasn't that there was a system that didn't work well enough. The problem was that we didn't have a system at all.
Kita tidak siap dengan epidemi berikutnya, seperti virus Ebola, yang saya yakin Anda semua sudah membacanya di koran. Banyak sekali terdapat kesulitan. Saya mengikuti kasusnya melalui alat-alat analisis untuk memantau pemberantasan polio. Jika dilihat, permasalahannya bukan pada sistem yang tidak berjalan dengan baik, tetapi kita tidak memiliki sistem sama sekali.
In fact, there are some pretty obvious key missing pieces. We didn't have a group of epidemiologists ready to go who would have gone, seen what the disease was, see how far it had spread. The case reports came in on paper. It was very delayed before they were put online, and they were extremely inaccurate. We didn't have a medical team ready to go. We didn't have a way of preparing people.
Faktanya, ada beberapa hal penting yang hilang. Kita tidak memiliki kelompok epidemiologi yang siap siaga untuk pergi melihat apa penyakitnya dan seberapa jauh itu tersebar. Laporan kasusnya tercatat di atas kertas dan terlambat untuk diunggah, dan itu sangat tidak akurat. Kita tidak memiliki tim medis yang siap siaga. Kita tidak memiliki cara untuk menyiapkan tenaga ahli.
Now, Médecins Sans Frontières did a great job orchestrating volunteers, but even so, we were far slower than we should have been getting the thousands of workers into these countries. And a large epidemic would require us to have hundreds of thousands of workers. There was no one there to look at treatment approaches, no one to look at the diagnostics, no one to figure out what tools should be used.
Meskipun Médecins Sans Frontières mengatur relawan dengan hebat, tetap saja kita terlambat untuk menyiapkan petugas di negara itu. Epidemi besar akan membutuhkan ratusan ribu petugas. Tak ada seorang pun di sana berupaya untuk menangani, mendiagnosis, dan mencari tahu alat apa yang harus digunakan.
As an example, we could have taken the blood of survivors, processed it, and put that plasma back in people to protect them. But that was never tried. So there was a lot that was missing, and these things are really a global failure. The WHO is funded to monitor epidemics, but not to do these things I talked about.
Contohnya, kami bisa mengambil darah orang yang selamat, memprosesnya, dan memberikan plasmanya untuk melindungi mereka. Dan hal tersebut tidak pernah dicoba. Jadi masih banyak yang kurang dan itu menyebabkan kegagalan global. WHO dibayar untuk mengawasi epidemi, tapi tidak melakukan satupun hal yang saya bicarakan tadi.
Now in the movies, it's quite different. There's a group of handsome epidemiologists ready to go. They move in, they save the day, but that's just pure Hollywood. The failure to prepare could allow the next epidemic to be dramatically more devastating than Ebola. Let's look at the progression of Ebola over this year. About 10,000 people died, and nearly all were in the 3 West African countries.
Berbeda dengan yang terjadi di film, ada sekelompok epidemiologi tampan, siap siaga, mereka bergerak selamatkan dunia. Tetapi itu hanya terjadi di film Hollywood. Kegagalan dalam persiapan dapat melahirkan epidemi baru yang mungkin lebih parah dan mengerikan daripada Ebola. Saat ini sekitar 10.000 orang meninggal dan hampir semuanya berada di wilayah Afrika Barat.
There's 3 reasons why it didn't spread more. The first is there was a lot of heroic work by the health workers. They found the people and they prevented more infections. The second is the nature of the virus. Ebola does not spread through the air. And by the time you're contagious, most people are so sick that they're bedridden. Third, it didn't get into many urban areas, and that was just luck. If it had gotten into a lot more urban areas, the case numbers would have been much larger.
Ada 3 alasan mengapa Ebola tidak tersebar lebih jauh. Yang pertama, banyak tindakan heroik dari para petugas kesehatan. Yang kedua, virus ini tidak menyebar melalui udara. Ketika terjangkit, Anda akan merasa sangat lemah, sehingga Anda harus istirahat. Yang ketiga, Ebola tidak mencapai wilayah perkotaan. Jika itu tersebar ke perkotaan, kasusnya akan lebih besar.